Frieza's plan has finally been revealed. He wants to kill Zeno and become the Emperor of the Multiverse. That's right, but relax. I'm going to explain and show you everything. So blast that like button with a Kamehameha and let's get into this video because it's absolutely insane. It was a moment that caught everyone by surprise. When Black Frieza appeared at the end of the Granola Saga, after Goku and Vegeta barely managed to defeat Gas with all the effort of their most powerful forms, the evil Emperor's mere presence was a shock. But even more surprising was the fact that after demonstrating overwhelming power and eliminating Gas with a single blow, Frieza simply spared Goku and Vegeta. He humiliated them, yes, but he didn't kill them. At that moment, many believed it was arrogance or that Frieza just wanted to prove his superiority. But now, with time, his true motives are starting to emerge and they are far darker and more ambitious than anyone could have imagined. Black Frieza is no longer the impulsive villain he once was. Since his defeat in the Tournament of Power and his humiliation in the Broly Saga, he understood that being powerful wasn't enough. He needed to plan, manipulate, infiltrate, and most importantly, use his opponents as pieces on his chessboard. And Goku and Vegeta, with all the pride and honor they carry, became perfect tools for this. The decision to spare them wasn't an act of mercy, but rather part of a long-term plan to destroy the highest figures in the cosmic hierarchy: Beerus, the god of destruction of Universe 7, and Zeno, the Omni King. Frieza understood that to directly attack these deities, he needed more than brute force. He needed knowledge, access, and opportunities. Vegeta, being Beerus' direct disciple, and Goku, with his close connection to Zeno, were the perfect links for this. Keeping the two alive means for Frieza maintaining a bridge of observation and direct manipulation with the two greatest powers in the multiverse. And now that Black Frieza has trained in a different space-time for over 10 years, acquiring a power that not even the angels foresaw, his plan is beginning to solidify. Zeno is an almost unreachable entity, but Goku is one of the few beings in the multiverse who treats him as an equal or even as a friend. If something happens to Goku, Zeno can react unpredictably. Frieza knows this. Attacking Goku directly could have disastrous consequences. Therefore, it's much more advantageous to keep him alive, study him, analyze him, and even put him in situations where he himself can be used as a catalyst to weaken Zeno's trust in the current functioning of the universes. In Vegeta's case, the matter is even more strategic. Vegeta is the closest link to Beerus a mortal can have. He has learned techniques of destruction, shared philosophies, and even absorbed some of the Destroyer God's temperament. If Frieza can corrupt or manipulate Vegeta to put Beerus in a vulnerable position, perhaps even emotionally, he can create a fatal opening. After all, gods, despite being powerful, are not infallible. And Beerus has demonstrated several times that he has a certain respect, albeit hidden, for Vegeta, but all of this is just the surface. Frieza wants more than just to overthrow gods, he wants to replace the system completely. It's not enough to defeat Beerus, he wants to become the new Destroyer God. It's not enough to destroy Zeno, he wants to become the new sovereign of the 12 universes. And for that, he needs to orchestrate his ascent using precisely those who represent the pillars of this divine structure. Black Frieza doesn't just want to win, he wants to reshape the cosmos in his own image, and leaving Goku and Vegeta alive is part of this architecture of chaos. Another fundamental point is how much Frieza has evolved psychologically. He is no longer that explosive and reckless tyrant. Now he studies his enemies, he observes, he creates weaknesses where there were none. He uses time to his advantage, as he demonstrated by training in a hyperbolic time chamber for over a decade without anyone noticing. This is something that even Whis and the angels must be concerned about. And worse, they cannot intervene directly because Frieza is still technically a mortal. He plays within the rules even if he subverts them. What makes it all even more unsettling is that Goku and Vegeta have no idea of Frieza's real purpose. They believe he is just accumulating power out of vanity or at most preparing to dominate the universe again. They don't understand that they are being used as pawns in the greatest multiverse coup d'etat, and when they realize it may be too late. Frieza's next step may be something even more audacious, trying to pit Goku against Zeno or Vegeta against Beerus. Not necessarily through mind control, but through plays on morality, doubts, or simply putting them in situations where they need to make choices. This is the cosmic chess game Frieza is playing, and if he wins, he won't just be the Emperor of Evil, he will be the new architect of the multiverse. And it all starts with that seemingly simple but now clearly calculated decision, sparing Goku and Vegeta on planet Cereal. That was the first move. A silent move, but one that completely changed the game. While everyone believed Frieza was just another villain getting stronger to face the heroes, he was initiating a hidden revolution, a conspiracy against the very foundations of creation. Now, the fate of the gods is sealed by the actions of mortals themselves, and Goku and Vegeta, even with all their strength, have no idea that they were spared not by luck, but by being the keys that will open the doors to celestial destruction. Black Frieza is no longer a common enemy. He is a threat to the very concept of divinity. The final battle won't just be for the universe, it will be for the definition of who deserves to govern everything. And perhaps when Goku and Vegeta realize this, they will already be so deeply embedded in Frieza's plan that there will be no turning back. They will be forced to choose between protecting their bonds or destroying them to prevent Black Frieza's Dark Empire from dominating everything. This theory, now gaining increasing traction, may be precisely the secret basis of Black Frieza's plan, to use Zeno's absolute knowledge to execute the most lethal and precise move in the universe, killing a destroyer god without even touching him. Zeno, as we know, is a cosmic entity who holds all the knowledge of the universe and beyond. He answers any question as long as certain protocols are followed, and it's practically impossible to lie or hide information from him. Frieza, being cunning as ever, may very well have sought out Zeno during his years of absence, questioning him about the god's weaknesses and the hidden rules that maintain cosmic balance. It is in this context that the link between Supreme Kai Shin and Beerus comes into play. A detail almost forgotten by many, but one that was vital in the Goku Black Saga. The Destroyer Gods are linked to the Supreme Kais of their respective universes. Should the main Supreme Kai die, the corresponding Destroyer God also ceases to exist. This symbiotic relationship was used by Zamasu in his ascension as Goku Black, when, realizing he couldn't defeat Beerus directly, he engineered the Supreme Kai's death, thus destroying the God of Destruction in a single indirect blow. Now imagine this from the perspective of Black Frieza, a being who has not only evolved in physical strength, but also in cunning, intelligence, and manipulation capabilities. He no longer needs to confront Beerus in a frontal battle where he could be defeated or draw the attention of the angels. All he needs is to find a way to eliminate Shin, and worse, he might even manage this without raising suspicion using third parties, traps, or manipulations that make the act practically irreversible. Shin, despite being a god, does not possess power comparable to Beerus. He is kind, naive, and trusts mortals too much, especially Goku and his friends. Black Frieza can approach him indirectly, exploiting his vulnerabilities, or even create a chaotic situation in Universe 7 that forces Shin to expose himself to protect planets and civilizations. And at that moment, Frieza can act. If Zeno truly revealed this secret to Frieza, there is no longer any doubt that Beerus' death is closer than ever, and not by the Emperor's hands, but by a silent and deadly cosmic chess move. Frieza knows that killing Beerus directly would bring the wrath of Whis and the other angels, perhaps even Zeno himself. But if the death is indirect, via the disappearance of the Supreme Kai, who can hold him accountable, he can even claim he had no involvement, manipulating everything from the shadows. It is precisely this type of move that demonstrates how dangerous Frieza has become. He is not just a physical threat, but also a philosophical and existential one. He challenges the god's own rules without breaking them. He circumvents them, manipulates them, redesigns them. And if he truly knows how to eliminate Beerus, then Universe 7 will lose its greatest pillar of balance, and this will open the doors for Frieza's total domination. And what's more, with Beerus out of the way, Goku and Vegeta will lose the divine tutor who has been guiding their spiritual growth. Without Beerus, the learning of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego may be impaired or even interrupted. Whis, despite being neutral, may be forced to step away because without a designated destroyer god, the angel's role is suspended. This is the domino effect Frieza is seeking. It's not just destroying the enemy, it's dismantling the entire structure that strengthens them. This type of plan also indicates that Frieza deep down is aiming beyond Universe 7. Beerus' fall would be just the first step. He can use the same method to overthrow other destroyer gods and little by little destabilize the order of the 12 universes. One by one, Frieza could put the same scheme into practice, eliminate the responsible Supreme Case, and thus make the destroyer gods fall like dominoes. And if anyone doubts his ability to access Zeno, it's worth remembering that Frieza now commands a renewed, restructured army with access to technologies, agents, and spies from all corners of the multiverse. He is no longer a galactic emperor limited to Universe 7, he is a multiversal threat. And if he did manage to reach Zeno, then all the doors of knowledge are open to him, including the means to manipulate the cosmic balance itself. This scenario is even more frightening when we remember that Frieza is acting silently. Unlike other past threats that revealed themselves in a grand and destructive way, Frieza is walking through the shadows, making alliances, studying weaknesses, and now probably acquiring the knowledge necessary to assassinate gods without even directly lifting a finger against them. If Goku and Vegeta don't discover this in time, they may end up being involuntary accomplices in the destruction of their own universe. They still haven't realized that they were spared so that they would become pieces of surveillance and distraction. While they train, while they seek to surpass themselves, Frieza is 2 steps ahead, preparing the final collapse of the entire divine structure of the multiverse. And when that collapse begins, perhaps there will be no one left to stop him. Frieza, with Zeno's knowledge in hand, can become a new type of entity, not a god, but a conqueror of the divine. And in the face of this, even Zeno may be in danger, because if there is someone who can transform information into absolute power, that someone today is Black Frieza. Becoming the destroyer god of Universe 7 is more than just Frieza's simple desire for status. It's a decisive tactical step on the ladder that leads to total domination of the multiverse. For many, it might seem like a contradiction. Why would someone as proud and cruel as Frieza want to submit to the role of a god of destruction? But in Black Frieza's mind, this isn't submission, it's infiltration, a way to reach the center of divine power from within, with the ultimate goal of usurping even Zeno's authority. And this becomes even clearer when we understand Zeno's true nature. The Omni King is not a warrior, not a strategist, and certainly not someone who understands the complexity of mortal motivations. He is a pure childlike entity, almost naive in his way of acting. His power is absolute. Yes, he can erase everything with a gesture, but he doesn't fight. He doesn't think strategically, and that's where Frieza sees his advantage. In the field of mental, political, cosmic, and strategic warfare, Frieza is unbeatable. He doesn't just want to surpass the gods by force, he wants to make them obsolete. If Black Frieza takes the position of Destroyer God, he will have access to privileges and systems that are currently forbidden to mortals. He will be above any emperor, above any army. He will even be able to act behind the scenes of the gods' hierarchy, influence high-level decisions, and, who knows, even question Zeno's own role, and that's the most dangerous detail. Frieza doesn't just want to destroy the universes to reign over the rubble. He wants to reshape the cosmic balance so that everything is under his logic, his vision, his hand. Frieza has already understood that being strong isn't enough. Goku and Vegeta are examples of this. Even with enough power to rival the gods, they still need to ask permission, follow rules, and respect hierarchies. Frieza, however, wants to bypass all of that. By becoming a destroyer god, he becomes the rule itself, the law itself. And with that title, he will be able to manipulate the trust that Whis, Shin, and even Goku place in the divinities. And speaking of Goku, he can become another piece in Frieza's game. Goku is seen by Zeno as a friend, almost like a favorite toy. If something happens to Goku, Zeno will react with emotion, not logic. Frieza can very well exploit this. He can put Goku at risk, make Zeno see the other gods as incompetent for not protecting the Saiyan, or even blame entities like Beerus or Whis. He can manipulate Goku into turning against the gods themselves, creating a rift within the divine system. This tactic is brilliant in its cruelty. Goku is impulsive, acts from the heart, and values justice. If Frieza creates a situation where Goku thinks Beerus, for example, allowed the destruction of a universe or the death of a friend, the Saiyan could confront the Destroyer God directly. This would put Whis in a position of conflict and destabilize the entire command structure of Universe 7. And while this happens, Frieza simply observes, reaping the fruits of the chaos he has sown. Furthermore, Frieza may very well use Goku as a shield. Knowing the emotional connection between Zeno and the Saiyan, he can provoke Zeno himself to test them, manipulating situations and indirectly threatening Goku. And if Zeno reacts uncontrollably, erasing universes without reason, Frieza will have the perfect excuse. The Omni King is unstable. He's a risk to us all. And with that, he begins to plant the idea of replacing even the absolute sovereign. This type of manipulation requires patience, but Frieza now has plenty of it. His years of training have shown that he is not only stronger, but more focused, colder, more calculating. He no longer rushes, he builds his empire step by step. And if he assumes the position of Destroyer God of Universe 7, he will be able, from within, to study every weakness of the divine system, understand the functioning of the angels, the Grand Priest, and who knows, even access secret dimensions that only the gods know. It's worth remembering that once in the role of Destroyer God, Frieza would also have the right to participate in decisions involving the other universes. He could be called to divine councils, interdimensional judgments, discussions about cosmic balance, and within these environments, he would not only hear the plans but influence every resolution, directing the fate of all universes with poisoned words and decisions disguised as rationality. Frieza could also use this position to recruit new allies. Other gods, tired of Zeno's inertia, might start listening to his vision. After all, he would represent a new order, a structure where gods not only destroy, but truly command. There would be promises of greater empires, freer power structures, and the possibility of a new type of reign. A reign where the strongest govern, yes, but with strategy, with purpose, with real ambition. All of this may seem impossible to those who still see Frieza as an arrogant tyrant from the past, but Black Frieza is a new being, a strategist, a revolutionary, an emperor who now understands that the throne of the gods is not taken by brute force but by manipulation, knowledge, and time. And he has all these elements in his favor. If nothing is done, if Goku and Vegeta continue to focus only on training for the next fight, without understanding that the real battle is political, then it will be too late. Frieza will have already infiltrated, already killed Beerus through Shin, and already become the new Destroyer God. And when everyone realizes it, the next to fall will be Zeno, not by force, but by subversion of the very concept of absolute rule. At that moment, Black Frieza will not only be the strongest being, he will be the new Omni King. But comment on what you thought of all this and don't forget to like the video. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time.